What you're seeing right now in the image is a $10,000 AI call center dashboard created with Lovable, N8N, and Retell AI all together. And that's what today we're gonna do, guys. We're gonna be building live this complete system, a 2-hour long guide. You're gonna have entertainment, but for the next 2 hours, if you follow all the steps that I said you in this guide, you will know how to build a complete AI system, not only for my AI voice call center, for whatever system that you want. So without further ado, let's go directly into it. Okay guys, so to start, I basically come to a whiteboard where I have drawn everything that we are actually gonna do today. So the 4 hours that we're gonna use today mainly are gonna be Lovable, Supabase, Retell AI for the calls, and N8N. So how is the system gonna work? Let's do it as it will be for a real estate agent or a marketing agency, which most of them they have a form on their website, and once that form is submitted, we're gonna send a call. That call can be picked up or not. Most of the time, the people who fill up this form are interested on the service that the real estate agent or the marketing agency are offering. So we send the call. If it isn't pick up, what we're gonna do is send an SMS immediately, and later, after a couple of hours, maybe we send another call as a follow-up to confirm that he was interested and book an appointment. So if it was picked up and he didn't like to book an appointment, we're gonna send us several follow-ups a couple of days after, with which what we will do is try to convince him to book an appointment again with us and come with the service of the real estate agent or the marketing agency. And if he booked an appointment, what we're gonna do is set a system of reminders. Guys, just taking into account how valuable this could be. Let's say a real estate agent, when he receives a phone submission, he might take, let's say, depending on where he is and what he's doing, he can take around 10 or 20 minutes to call him back. And the percentage of this guy actually working with the real estate agent now goes really down. Why? Because he probably has found other options, other people which are also interested on buying his house, for example. So that's why with this system, with the AI, is gonna call him with a time of just 1 minute, let's say. So the percentage of closing this person an appointment is gonna go much higher, because he's not gonna have time to consider other options. So he just gives us the information and we just call him immediately, so he doesn't gonna consider other options and he thinks that this one is still the best for him. So we're not gonna start with Lovable. What we're gonna do is go directly to Retell AI to build our system that is gonna be built with the information that we receive a form submission. Remember that the form can be from a website, from an N8N form, a Google Forms, etc. So I'm gonna go directly to Retell AI. Okay, so once here I'm gonna log in and let's go inside to create our system. Here inside, what we're gonna do is create an agent. Here inside voice agent. Remember that first of all, what you should do, guys, is add here a bunch of numbers if you want to build this for a client. You can buy a new one here from Twilio, turning directly from Retell. It's easier. You just have to pay $2, and if not, if you are using Twilio already, Bonas or Chelnix, you can connect your number via SAP tracking, of course, a classical one. Okay, so what we're gonna do now again is come to agents, and here we're gonna click on create an agent and an AI voice agent. Perfect. So what do we have here? We could choose a conversational flow agent. It's rigid, highly formatted conversations. For example, this could be a good option of conversation flow agent, as we are gonna be following always a follow pattern, a structure and close pattern, where it's not gonna be open where he can ask all the type of questions. And no, it's gonna be really direct. So let's create a conversational flow agent. I'm gonna call it dashboard agent. Perfect. And from there on, what we are gonna do here is start selecting. Okay, remember that here in Retell AI we can change the variables to say, for example, hi, hello, am I talking to hashtag name? So this will be changed inside the call with the name. Okay, so with this set, Let's leave it right now with a static response, probably. Yep. And here we have two options. We're gonna set first user says yes, and user says no. I mean, if this guy has filled the form, it's 90% of the time it's gonna say yes. That's true, but so let's go. User says no. Okay, so what we're gonna do now is add a conversation node. There you go. And what we're gonna say, for example, here, we're gonna bring first and connect it, by the way, right now. And here you can use, as I said, two options: prompt, where you can say the AI what to say, or the static sentence that it's gonna always say what you put here if you select static sentence. So I'm gonna put the next. There you go. So I am the assistant of Sign the Real Estate and was calling you because you just fill up our form on our website. Is that correct? This is gonna be a static sentence, and here we're gonna set again two options of transitions. As you can see here, I'm gonna click here in this pencil. I'm gonna say user says yes. User is the guy that is in the phone basically, and the other option is user says no. There you go. Perfect. So now what we're gonna do is actually add a logic split model. In the form, he's gonna tell us also if he wants to buy or sell a property in this case. So I'm gonna connect it here. There you go. And we're gonna add an equation. There you go. So we're actually gonna add two, because one is gonna be in case the variable is gonna be buy or if it's gonna be sell. So the condition that we are actually gonna set here is a really simple one. We're gonna come here, we're gonna add the condition, and we are gonna add actually a variable that is gonna be buy or sell. So we're gonna put here type, or type, let's set it like that, and we're gonna set the value equal to buy. So we're gonna put here, and it's gonna be again type, and it's gonna be sell. Okay guys, maybe this sounds a bit strange for you right now, but you will understand it later, as these are Retell AI dynamic variables, which we will add later when we launch the call and we send it. There we will describe these dynamic variables. And I mean, we don't need the else button, so we actually don't want it, but we'll leave it like there. Okay, so I'm gonna add another conversation flow here, and I'm gonna actually say put okay, and you also fill it up to buy. Is that correct? And again, we're gonna set two conditions. User says yes, and user says no. Okay. And user says no. We're gonna actually copy it and put the same thing for actually sell. So I'm gonna copy the message, bring it here by adding another conversation flow. Sell, there you go. And I'm gonna actually, there you go, bring it there. And it's gonna be again, user says yes and user says no. Perfect, beautiful. Next step that we're gonna do, continue this path. Yes, there you go. Continue this path. Okay, so I'm gonna bring here, and in case they want to buy, what we are gonna do is ask him some small variables, like for example, the budget that they have, and when are they looking to buy? Maybe this month, in the next 6 months, next year, and finally from there on we will book an appointment with the real estate agent. So we're actually gonna add another conversation here. I'm gonna connect it with yes, and I'm gonna actually add here another note for the conversation. This is gonna be another static sentence. So you actually want to sell. So we're gonna say user says he wants to sell. Yes. And user says he wants to buy. And then we'll bring him back to the next one, you know? Maybe he made a mistake and he said that he didn't want to buy when he did want to buy. User says he wants to buy. Okay. So I'm gonna connect the no here, which means that if they say that they don't want to buy, we're gonna ask him if they instead want to sell, and if they say yes that they want to sell,
we are gonna connect it to the next one that we will fill up here of selling. Okay, by now we're gonna connect it here, or let's take it out. What we are gonna also connect is the one he wants to buy to this one that we are gonna continue right now, which is gonna be actually user says yes to buying. So we're gonna ask him to say, okay, thanks, then I will need to collect your budget for buying a property, and let's ask for the date, as I said, and the time in which you want to buy a property, like a month, a year, or 6 months, let's say, something like that. Okay, so from there on, we are gonna here you put only one transition, which is user says his budget and when he wants to buy, and we are gonna collect here 2 variables. So for that, guys, we're gonna come here and we're gonna select the option extract variable. We're gonna add 2. First, we're gonna edit the first one, which we're gonna change it from name to budget, and we are gonna put as description probably the budget of the user, in order to buy a property. Let's put it as a number, probably better. Here you go. Let's say if he answers I don't know, response 0. Perfect. Oh, I'm gonna change it here. And from the part of answer, there you go, to put the S. Beautiful. I'm gonna add another one, which is gonna be in this case date or time, the date and time in which the user wants to buy a property. But I'm gonna put day underscore buy probably. There you go. That sounds good. So I'm gonna save it. Perfect. Here we're gonna put 2 possibilities. That is tool result successful. There you go. And tool result unsuccessful. So I'm just gonna copy this one. There you go. And bring it here. To paste it here and just include here unsuccessful. That sounds good. If it is unsuccessful, we're just gonna add a conversation here which I'm gonna actually put it in the higher part, where I'm gonna actually ask him to repeat all the data. So let's go again with a static sentence. Can you please repeat it for me? I wasn't able to catch it. Let's say, for example. Perfect. Let's wait here. User repeats the budget here, guys, in the conversation, and actually changing it here. There you go. Here, user repeats the budget and the date or time, but I'm gonna put bar time. There you go. Perfect. And again, I'm gonna extract him. Let's move on. When the tool is successful and the guy that wants to buy gives us, in this case, the budget and date buy, what we are gonna do is come here, go to another static response sentence, and I'm gonna ask him if he would like to book an appointment shortly. Okay, so that sounds great. Let's say, would you like to book an appointment with our real estate agents, let's say, to discuss further details? And here we have 2 options. Most of the time it's gonna be a yes, but we have to manage both of the cases, guys. Always. User says yes and user says no. A conversation flow agent is really repetitive, but it's really powerful once we have fixed it. So user says yes and user says no. If the user says yes, guys, what I'm gonna do is add a conversation flow. There you go. So I'm gonna ask him here for his email. Can you please provide your email? And then what I'm gonna do is wait until user says his email. That sounds great. So I'm gonna add again extract a variable and I'm gonna bring it here. So what we want is the email. There you go, email, and we're gonna place it like the email of the user. The email of the user. There you go, perfect. I'm gonna actually save it with text. There you go. And what I'm gonna do is describe the transition condition, which is gonna be again tool result successful here, and another one that is gonna be tool result unsuccessful. I'm gonna again copy it, paste it again in the lower one, and change it to be unsuccessful. Again, I'm gonna add here a conversation asking if it was unsuccessful to please repeat the email. Please repeat the email. I wasn't able to catch it. Sounds good. User gives his email. Perfect. And now we connect it again to extract the variable. That sounds fantastic. Okay, so with this done, we can go directly to book the appointment to use the function here. So I'm actually gonna add a conversation where I'm gonna ask him when he would like to have the appointment, let's say with the real estate agent. So I'm gonna connect this tool result successful to the next conversation. And here, and well, let's set in this case another static response where we are gonna tell him that's great. For example, can you tell me a day in which you will like to have the appointment, for example, let's say. And here we're gonna wait till user says the day. User says the day he would like to have the appointment. Perfect, sounds great. From there on, what we are gonna do, guys, is add a function. So I have already added here my check availability function. If you want to know how to do it, click here on check calendar availability and go directly here to cal.com. From there on, create our account or sign in. And what you have to do is go to your main event, select this number after the bar and the interrogation mark. And that number is gonna be, in this case, the event type ID. And then what you have to also get is the API keys. So for that, you have to come here to the API keys, get one and add it right here. That's what I'm gonna do right now.
Okay guys, so I have actually added both of them. I'm gonna add in this case the check availability. So we're gonna come here. By the way guys, I actually forgot to ask also for the day and time which you would like to have the appointment. And what I'm gonna say, remember our real estate agent works from, let's say, 9 a.m. to 8 p.m. from Monday to Friday. That sounds great. So, and we are gonna check the calendar availability, and if there is availability, there you go, we're gonna go ahead and book an appointment. So I'm gonna add another function. I'm gonna select book appointment call. I'm gonna add it right here, guys. There you go. And again, we're gonna do it similar. As you can see, we wanted to wait for result. That sounds great. So we're gonna put here appointment booked. We're also gonna add another option here, which is gonna be there is not availability. There you go. And if there is not availability, we're gonna ask him to please give us another time. The time you have given me is not available. Can you choose another one, please? There you go. Fantastic. I'm gonna add it here, and I'm gonna wait till user gives another day and time. There you go. I'm gonna connect it here. Sounds great. So once we have booked an appointment, let's set it right here, end note, as it will be the same for everything. Well, previously, I'm gonna actually bring it here previously. There you go. I'm gonna say thanks for it. We will get in contact shortly with you to provide you more details about the appointment. Sounds great. Probably this will be done by the real estate agent, by the way, but maybe we could automate it also. We're gonna ask if he has any questions. Do you have any remaining questions? And here we will set a prompt. Here, these questions that they have will be answered with this prompt that you have here. Okay. So meanwhile, I'm gonna set the transition only when the user does not have any questions. User does not have any questions. Sounds good. And from there on, now it's the moment to set here a conversation note that is gonna be the end note. Thanks for your time. See you soon. There you go. Again, a static sentence. We're gonna skip here the response so that we go directly to the end call here. So bring it here and connect it. And what I'm gonna do is connect this note here to this one. Okay, sounds good. So the main thing of buying, we have it finished. We have now to go back and we're gonna be configuring everything that was remaining to configure. For example, what do we have here? If this guy doesn't want to book an appointment, what are we gonna do? I'm gonna add actually a conversation again here. Okay, so this conversation is gonna be in case that this guy doesn't want to book an appointment with our real estate agent. This will mean that he doesn't want to book shortly, and if not, we're gonna say, okay, I completely understand. There you go. Our real estate agent will be in contact with you in case you want to move forward. And here we're not gonna ask for any permission or for anything more. We're just gonna inform about it. We're gonna skip the response and we're gonna go directly to say thanks for your time. See you soon. So I'm gonna connect it there. Okay, let's go a bit more back. What do we have here that we have to handle? We have this part handled, so we actually have to go to the part already in which we want to sell. So first of all, we're gonna handle this part. Okay, and you also filled up to sell. Is that correct? In this case, if he says no, we're gonna do a similar one to this one. I'm gonna actually click here to duplicate it. So we're gonna change it to buy. So you actually wanna buy? Sounds good. We're gonna say user says he wants to buy. I'm gonna change this. Sounds good. To yes, and I'm gonna change this one to sell, so that it makes everything sense. Sounds perfect. So I'm gonna connect user says no to here. Oh, so you actually wanna buy? If he says she wants to buy, what we are gonna do is connect this one, bring it here, and leave it directly to the process of buying. Sounds good. So let's go directly with the process of selling. We're gonna add another conversation note in which we are gonna say, okay, so as well as we did here with the buy, I will need to collect some information. When someone wants to sell, in this case, what we are gonna need normally is the address of the property. We're also gonna need, for example, the price and when are you planning to buy it, also the time. So we're going to do that actually right now. I will need the address of the property, the price you are looking for it, and the time in which you like to sell it. Maybe this person wants to live in it for 2 months more and wants to sell it from there on. So what I'm gonna do now is the same. The transition is once the user says all the data, user says everything, 2 dots, and we're gonna put here the address, the price and the time. Perfect. I'm gonna make it a bit bigger for you guys. And what I'm gonna do now is extract a variable. It's gonna be actually really similar to what we have here, but what we are gonna do is come here. There you go. And I'm gonna add 3 of them. The first one is gonna be date sell, and it's gonna be the date in which the user will like to sell his property, and I'm gonna save it. Perfect. I'm gonna change the name one to be actually the price one. Price. I'm gonna set here the price the user is looking to sell his property. Actually, for his property, we're gonna change it. Sorry, guys, in Spanish, maybe my grammatic is not so good as yours, but we're gonna set again a number as we set here with our budget. We are gonna do the same, and I'm also gonna give the address of the property. So I'm gonna actually add it here, address. I'm gonna put the address of the property the user wants to sell. Sounds good. I'm gonna save it, and here again 2 transitions. First, tool result successful, and tool result unsuccessful. So again, I'm gonna copy it and I'm gonna bring it here. To unsuccessful. Fantastic, beautiful. So once if the tool results unsuccessful, as we did before, we're gonna ask to repeat it. So I'm gonna go again to static sentence. Can you please repeat it? I wasn't able to catch it. There you go. I'm gonna connect it here. I'm gonna say user repeats all the info. Sounds great. So I'm gonna connect it again with the struct variable so that when he repeats all the information, the variables will be there to collect it. Sounds fantastic. Another conversation. Great. We're a good, really place. We're going really fast. I hope you're following this. If not, remember that I will let you everything in the description so that you can get it. I'm gonna connect in this case to the conversation once the tool is successful, and I'm gonna say with an static sentence. Sounds good. Would you like now to book an appointment with the real estate agent to discuss further details about the process? Maybe this appointment could be even a viewing of his property, so there's not any problem on that. What we are gonna do is put 2 options, prompt, and we are gonna say user says yes and user says no. Here. Okay. There you go. User says no. Great. Let's go with the root of user says yes. So here what we are gonna do is ask for another conversation, and in it we're gonna ask for when he would like to have. So I'm actually gonna delete this one, and I'm gonna actually duplicate the one that we have here. Oh, it's true that we will need for that the email. So I'm gonna actually duplicate these ones, guys. As you can see, it's as easy as this. I'm gonna duplicate all of them, and I'm gonna bring it both of them, in this case the first conversation and the struct variables, and I'm gonna bring them here to connect them and here to connect them. Okay, so remember that previously we had a case in which if the tool result of getting the email was unsuccessful, we said can you please repeat it. So I'm gonna also duplicate it. I wasn't able to catch it and everything, so I'm gonna use it here in case the tool result was unsuccessful. Connect it there and connect it there. Perfect. And finally I'm gonna say here the one that can you tell me a day in which you would like to have the appointment. I'm gonna duplicate it. I'm gonna bring it here and I'm gonna connect it again. I'm actually gonna duplicate almost everything, as this part is gonna be the same for both cases. So I'm gonna duplicate also here the check availability, As you can see now we're going really fast, guys. This is the good part of the conversational flow agents. At one point it's also almost gonna be the same. So I'm gonna bring it here. And I'm also gonna bring it here. The part of, if you remember, this time you have given is not available, in case the true result of checking availability was unsuccessful. Bring it here, and I'm gonna connect it here. So finally, we will get in contact to you to provide you more details about the appointment. So connect it here, and again, this is gonna go here. Thanks for your time. See you soon. Sounds fantastic. Beautiful. What is the next point that we have to add? We'll have to go a bit back here, guys, where we wanted to discuss further details about the process. If this guy says no, he doesn't want to book an appointment, what we are gonna do really chill is say to him, okay, no problem, something like that. Okay, no problem. The real estate agent will get in touch with you, really, or to discuss details or something like that, let's say. So if he doesn't want to discuss an appointment, okay, doesn't matter, no problem, the real estate agent will get in touch with you shortly. Let's just skip again as previously we did the response, and I'm gonna bring it actually here. Thanks for your time, see you soon. Sounds great. So we actually have finished most of the conversational flow agent. The other part that we have here is in case this guy hasn't filled up the form. So this means that there has been an error, probably. So we're gonna go here, and in case the guy or the person that we are calling isn't the one that we have filled up the form, we say, okay, sorry, there has been a mistake. And we're gonna skip it. Response. I mean, it's not gonna occur, it's not gonna happen 99% of the times, but let's say someone makes a mistake adding his phone number, which can happen. We are just gonna add it again to the end note in case there's this error. And again, we have also this error of hello, I am talking to the name that he just wrote in the form, and if he says no, so we are gonna ask here, I see, but haven't you just filled up the form of signed real estate? And now if the user says yes, we are gonna actually explain that there was a misunderstanding, and we're gonna continue as previously. And if the user said no, we're gonna connect it exactly to the misunderstanding that we just wrote before. Actually, guys, this one. Okay, sorry, there has been a mistake. So we're gonna add it here in case he says no, if he didn't fill up the form. And in case he says yes. Okay, sorry for the mistake. Let's continue with the call. For example, there you go. And I'm gonna actually skip this response. And I'm gonna bring it up back to the part of, okay, so I'm in the assistant and I'm calling. There you go, guys. So I think that with this, remember to connect these parts. User wants to sell, so let's go directly things I will need, and this part of user says he wants to sell, let's connect it to the start of the process of selling. So with these guys, I think we have finished already, and that everything is connected in terms of the conversational flow agent that we just created. It's been a big one. If it's the first conversational flow agent that you create, congratulations. You have created a big, really powerful agent that we could actually sell for a bunch of money, but we're bringing much more value than just a normal AI voice agent. So we're gonna change some things here. We have to change, remember, the model that we are gonna choose here for the AI agent. the prompt, which I will add right now. No worries on that. You will have it also in the resources in the description. So everything for free. So we're gonna change the voice. I actually like a girl, but I'm not gonna use Simo. I'm gonna actually use, for example, I don't know, maybe Evie, if it sounds good.
Hi there, I'm Evie, your friendly AI, ready to help out with whatever question or task you've got on your mind.
I mean, why not? Let's change a bit and let's use a man, a male. Perfect. So another thing that we have to change before adding the prompt, guys, is the speech settings. For example, we could add a background sound, which helps the AI voice agent sound realistic, actually. So we're gonna put, for example, let's say summer outdoor. For example, a real estate agent is gonna be on the outdoor normally. So the responsiveness, I'm gonna put it a bit lower. Let's place it in 0.97, and the interaction sensitivity, let's leave it in 0.9, so that the AI is really sensitive to be interrupted. Enable backchannelling, I'm gonna enable it. Actually, it's gonna appear here. So we're gonna put here typical human expressions like ha, yeah, one moment, like this. Okay, and here we don't have to actually add anything more. What I'm gonna do actually is come back to call settings, which is gonna be a really important one. If there's a voicemail detection, we're gonna hang up directly, because if not, the AI usually has problems dealing with voicemail, in my experience. The keypad, we're not gonna use it. End of call silence, if the user is more than, in my opinion, 3 minutes is enough to hang up the call. Max call duration is not gonna last an hour. It may last around 20 minutes actually, so I'm gonna leave it there. Sounds good. Pause before speaking, we're gonna elevate it a bit to 0.4, and that's okay. So with this done, what I'm gonna do finally is come here to the wheel inside the voice, and I'm gonna use turbo B2.5. The voice speed, I'm gonna decrease it a bit to 0.96. The voice temperature, I'm gonna place it a bit more calm in 0.82, and the voice volume, I always like it to put a bit higher. I mean, there's not any problem on increasing the voice volume. It's actually really good to have it higher, actually. So I'm gonna save it, and I'm gonna write right now the prompt for you. Okay guys, so I just added the prompt, as you can see here, and we can say now that we have finished our first call system inside Retell AI. We can say that this one has been finished inside Retell AI. What are we gonna do now? Build this system inside NA10 to send the call once the form is submitted. We're gonna build it actually in NA10. There you go. Let's go to NA10, sign in or create your account. In this case with my account, free trial, because I don't like to pay it. So you can do the same. Can do now is create a workflow once you're inside, and what we are gonna do directly is here include a form submission. Okay, so just to let you know, guys, NA10 has tons of applications which we can use for this type of things. So maybe a form can be from your website, can be from Google Forms, from Typeform, all type of things. In this case, I'm gonna use the form submission of NA10. This is the simplest, but be aware that we can use whatever form you are using, doesn't matter. So in this case, I have this link, no authentication. The form title is gonna be dashboard AI voice. Example, the form description, fill up for signed real estate, let's say, yeah. And I'm gonna put a couple of, in this case, questions here in add form elements. Okay guys, there you go. I just added it there. Here you have it. What is your name in text? What are you looking to do, buy or sell, in a drop down list? And can you give me your number? Please include the country code. Remember that this can vary a lot. Maybe we can ask inside the form also the email and the budget, for example, or things like that. So just depends, and we can do it for all use cases, not only one. Remember it. I'm gonna click to copy the form URL, and I'm gonna actually paste it here. The form trigger isn't listening yet, so what we're gonna do here is execute the step. And as you can see here, we have it. It appears in your Google Chrome. So what we are gonna do now is fill it up. What is your name? Diego. What are you looking to do? Buy. Can you give me your phone number? I'm gonna put a random phone number from my country. There you go, and I'm gonna submit it. There you go. So we should have received the option, and here it is. Sounds good. What are we gonna do now? Once we receive the form, we're gonna directly, well, send the call, or maybe we could wait a minute. Let's put wait 30 minutes, 30 seconds, so that it sounds more realistic and it doesn't sound really AI, really fake. So I'm gonna, there you go, set a wait note, and now is the moment we're gonna set an HTTP request in which we are gonna send a call with Retell AI. So for that, we are gonna come to Google, and I'm gonna search Retell AI docs. So we're gonna come to Retell AI introduction. There you go, and we're gonna go to API reference, and we're gonna use the create phone call. Anyways, what we have to do is first change this to post. Come and copy this part, paste it here. There you go, inside the URL. Sounds perfect. Where I'm gonna send headers, and I'm gonna send two in this case. First one is gonna be the authorization, and you have to include bearer and your API key. So here we're gonna write authorization and bearer, and here you're gonna include, guys, your API key. And inside here, what we're gonna do is include content type, and it's gonna be application JSON. There you go, sounds perfect. So later, and we're gonna send a body, of course. The content type is gonna be raw. It's gonna be again application JSON. Include the next body. So guys, let's write it together so that you also can know. We are gonna pass this to expression, make it bigger, and here we're gonna start with a couple of curly braces. Then we're gonna go a bit right with the row. So guys, when I say row, you have to click in this button that we have here, this one, okay? And that way you know what I mean. I don't know how it's called in English, sorry about it. But what we're gonna do is come here and write agent underscore ID. And that is gonna be the ID of our agent, so that Retell can know which agent has to call. Then we're gonna set this, 2 dots here, and we're gonna put this commas. Perfect, we're gonna set another one, let's go down again, and here we're gonna write Retell. Well, it's actually what we have here, as you can see. Where it is, Retell underscore LLM dynamic variables. Copy it, and I'm gonna actually bring it here. Paste it. There you go, sounds perfect. So once here, what we're gonna do is add another curly braces, in which we have to go 2 of them to the right. And here we're gonna add our variables that we were adding inside Retell AI. So in this case, we had the name, as you can see here, name, and the type. So that's the both that we are actually gonna add, guys. We're gonna add name, 2 dots and commas again, and gonna go down. There you go, and again we're gonna put type. There you go, 2 dots, and like this. Sounds perfect. So once here, what we are gonna do is put another comma here. We're gonna go down like this, and let's put from underscore number. This is the number with we are gonna send the call, our number from Retell AI, and I'm gonna put this again, the commas. Oh, so then let's go down again, and we're gonna go with 2 number. There you go, and this time we're gonna include here a plus, as that applies for all the numbers with or without country code. And we're not gonna guide that inside the NA10 form submission. And finally, the last thing that we have to include is the direction, which is gonna be, in this case, outbound. There you go, perfect. So let's have this. What I'm gonna do is click here on execute previous notes. Right now it's basically so that you can know it waiting for 30 seconds. Once it has waited, what we're gonna do is include all the information of the form submission inside that JSON that we just wrote, so that we can use all that variables that we just got from this form submission. Okay, there you go. It has waited 30 seconds. So once we are again here, I'm gonna make it a bit bigger, and what we have to do is come back to Retell AI. I'm gonna copy here our agent ID that you will find below the name, bring it back to NA10, paste it in this case here, And what I'm gonna do is inside name, I'm gonna include this variable, drag it. I'm gonna do the same with what are you looking. So just take it, drag it, and stick it here. And finally, we're gonna do the same with can you give me your number, and I'm gonna include it after the plus. Sounds perfect. From number, just go back to Retell AI, go to your numbers, and copy your number once you are here. There you go. You copy your number with all the country code, the plus, and everything, and you just write it here without any problems. Really easy. Perfect. We got this, right, guys? So what we're gonna do now is add another HTTP request. In this case, another one that is gonna be with the objective of getting the information of the call. Why do we want to get information of the call? Because in the same scenario, what we are gonna do is send the calls and get the information of the calls. With all the informations, I mean, is transcript, recording URL, the collected variables like the emails and everything. Oh, you guys, so if it isn't working to you, you might have to come to your number, and in this case, select here the agent that you just created. So let's go back here to the HTTP request, and what I'm gonna do actually is execute the previous node. So as you can see, it has been executed correctly. There you go. I added previously the API key. By the way, you can find it here in keys. You come and you copy the key that you have here or add another one. So inside NA10, what I'm gonna do now is come to here. We were previously in create phone call. You have to go to get call. So I'm gonna copy this one. And what I'm gonna do is come back to NA10. I'm gonna paste it here. The method is gonna be still post. We're gonna get out this call ID. There you go. And we're gonna include this one that we have here. Okay. So we're gonna actually change first to expression true. And I'm gonna actually come here to include the call ID. Sounds good. What are we also gonna need? We're gonna need to send one header only. As you can see here, once we change to curl, what we're gonna see is that we only need one header, which is gonna be authorization as previously, and the same that is gonna be better. And here we're gonna include your API key. Fantastic. So once here, what we are gonna do is actually run it again. So I'm gonna add right now my API key, and I'm gonna run it exactly again. So once I add my API key, you just come outside, we click again on play, and there you go, we have it. Oh guys, so once we have received that data, we're gonna come here and we're gonna include an if, in which what we're gonna do is come here and we're gonna get that call status. And we can see here inside the get API docs that we have different types of status. So we want to have the ended one. We are gonna get out with the if module the error and not connected one, which means that both has been an error. I mean, I imagine that not connected is basically that we haven't reached to them. Well, no, that basically the call wasn't set probably because the phone number wasn't good or something like that. So here I'm gonna include ended, and if it is false, we're gonna include another one. So first, let's click here. There you go. We're gonna include here another if. Sounds perfect. And what we are gonna do is add the call status. There you go. Is equal to, in this case, not underscore connected, which is what we have right now. Fantastic. We're gonna play it again, but doesn't matter. We're gonna include another if module, in which I'm gonna include here the call status, and we want it to be error. And finally, after all of these things, it is not error. What we are gonna do is wait around, let's say, for example, 10 seconds, constantly until we get any of these three, or call underscore ended, or not connected, or in this case, error. Perfect. So I'm gonna connect it here, and it's gonna be repeating all the time the process until it gets it. Perfect. Sounds really good. Another if that we're gonna add once we get the information of call underscore ended is in this case the part of in voicemail. There you go. Sounds perfect. So I'm gonna add it here, and what we want to do is in this case be it true or false. And let's add it false better, so that we know that it hasn't go to voicemail. If it has go to voicemail, it's gonna be probably through the same root of these three of call again. Or maybe we could do a separate base inside Supabase. Doesn't matter. And finally, if it is false and true, we can directly go to analyze the transcripts to go more advanced in deciding where it has to go. To interested, if it has been booked an appointment, if not. Okay guys, so I actually just did a small test in which I received the call and I was talking with the agent. So we have to change actually one small thing here, guys. What we're gonna do is the analysis in voicemail, we're gonna change it actually to boolean to is false. Because if not, as you can see, runtime false is a boolean, but it was expecting a string, you see? So we have to change it that way. Sounds fantastic. What are we gonna do next? Remember guys that if you see here 4 items, 5 items, it doesn't really matter. Remember, NA10 does not charge with operations, it charges with executions, which is a really good thing. Okay, taking into account that it is false, it means that we have been talking with the assistant. So we're actually here gonna place an AI agent which is gonna be in charge of analyzing the transcript and deciding whether the user has booked an appointment, if it hasn't booked an appointment, if it was a voicemail because it wasn't triggered here, if he didn't book an appointment but was interested, all these type of things. So I'm gonna actually first add the model, guys. Let's select, you can select whatever you want. If you want to make it as cheap as possible, go with Gemini because most of them are gonna be free. But in my case, OpenAI is a classic one, works really good. So that's the one that I'm gonna use. I'm gonna connect right now my credential, so give me a moment. By the way, before doing it, if you want to know actually, guys, how to connect credentials here into NA10 because you are new, just come here and you click here on Open Docs, and here you have all the info that you need to connect your accounts there. There you go, I've got it. So I'm gonna use in this case for GPT-401 mini, works really well. I'm gonna bring it a bit up. By the way, there's an error here, it doesn't matter, no worries guys. So we can actually fix it by just clicking here on run, and I imagine that once it runs, it will, there you go, execute, and we will have here the information for the AI agent. What is the first thing that we're gonna do actually here? Change this to define below, and we are gonna say the transcript of the call. There you go, and we are gonna include here, first change to expression, of course, sorry about it, and include it there. So I'm gonna actually go with a system message, and I'm gonna write right now the prompt for you guys. Okay guys, here you have it. You're the fantastic assistant of Science Real Estate, and you're in charge of analyzing the transcript and deciding which of the following one adjust best. This is best. There you go. For how the call went. And here we have put 4 cases. The first one in case they booked an appointment, the second one in case they were interested but didn't book an appointment, the third one in case there was a mistake or a misunderstanding and the call didn't go ahead, and the fourth one is if the lead didn't show interest at all. Sounds good. So let's go ahead and execute it, for example, to see what it outputs with the example that I did. Exactly, that's exactly what I did. The lead didn't show interest at all because I said, as you can see here, I don't have time. Bye. Okay, fantastic, beautiful. So now I'm gonna add another flow here, guys, which is gonna be a switch. Sounds good. And we're gonna place here the output, and we're gonna put 4 different routing rules, there and there. Fantastic. And it's one for its number. Output equal to 2. Output here equal to 3, and output here equal to 4. Great. Let's go with this one, which is when output is equal to 1. So as I said, they booked an appointment, which was really good. Well, of course, you're gonna differentiate between 2 of them, which is gonna be buy and sell. So where I'm actually gonna set probably even an AI agent, give me a moment, in which we are gonna ask to determine a last time if they booked to buy or to sell, because here someone could have selected by mistake sell or buy. So that's what we want to make sure here, selecting again OpenAI ChatGPT. This time I'm gonna select Photo Mini, so that it's a bit cheaper and we're not gonna spend so much, because this one is just a confirmation and we're not gonna need anything more. Fantastic. So I'm gonna tell him here, define below. I'm gonna execute node. I don't need that one. What I need is this part. So we are gonna give the transcript of the call. There you go. Great. And I'm gonna place it here with an expression. There you go. And here. Great. So I'm gonna add another system message and I'm gonna say him, you are the fantastic assistant of signed real estate. I need you to confirm with the transcript of the call if the user wanted to buy or to sell. Output buy if he wanted to buy. Output sell if he wanted to sell. Example output, I'm gonna put here buy. Great, sounds great. So now, of course, it's gonna be an if module, because we're gonna have two possibilities. Okay, for the purpose of completing the if, I actually got a way of doing it. We have to click there on set mock data, and what we have to do is come here and delete this part and delete this part. So guys, I'm actually learning with you also, because I didn't know this was possible. So I'm gonna put here output, leave it like this, and I'm gonna put buy. Let's say buy. Yeah. Click on save. There you go. Now it's pinned, but well, it's gonna work anyways. So we're gonna bring it, and there you go. Output and is equal to buy. Fantastic. So we know that if it is true here is that we are gonna buy. Okay, so we've done something really interesting until now, but we are gonna have to go directly to Supabase so that we are able to include all the info inside our database. So let's go here to Supabase. In this case, this is my organization. I already have created one, but you should guys create yours. Just come here to supabase.com. This is the best thing in this case for this sake of creating big dashboards. So I'm just gonna come to my project, the first one, and I'm gonna go to the table editor. So I have one table which I'm gonna actually delete right now. Perfect. And I'm gonna create a new table. How are we gonna name it? So we're gonna separate it in different cases. We're gonna separate it with sell, and inside there we will decide if they booked an appointment or not. So I'm gonna call this one in this case sell. Fantastic. And we're gonna put here the leads who wanted to sell. Simple as this. We're gonna place different columns. Do we want to create that? Yeah, we want that. We want another column which is gonna be, in this case, the name of this guy. Fantastic. And it's gonna be a text. Great. So this is gonna be null. Another column is gonna be the number, so the phone number. Let's put a numeric, and that's okay without any problems. I'm gonna add another column, guys, in this case, which is gonna be for the appointment, if they booked an appointment or not. So appointment, and I'm gonna place a boolean. Fantastic. So we're gonna save it, and once it has created, we're gonna come back to our N810, and we're gonna start there adding the information. Fantastic. Here we have everything. So let's come back to N810. Remember, this if module was in case of buy. So if we want to target first sell, we're gonna go to false. And what are we gonna do now? We're gonna add a Supabase node. Fantastic. And we're gonna create a new row. Here where I'm gonna select my credential, I'm just gonna go inside my Supabase account. I'm gonna connect everything. Remember that you can do it with Open Docs. Great guys, I just did it. So I'm gonna go with raw, create, you know here, and I'm gonna select the one that we just created, sell data to send. We're gonna add here a field, and we want to include a, well, create that. I imagine that we are not gonna need to do that because it's done automatically, but what we want to do is the name. Okay, so I'm gonna have to do a test, guys, here where I actually end up booking an appointment. So see you then. Okay guys, so I actually did the test. I just sent me a call and I deleted the if module because it was giving me bad results. So what I'm gonna do actually is add a merge, a switch one as we did in the past. So I'm gonna add here a switch and I'm gonna bring it here, and the two options are gonna be sell and buy. I mean, I'm gonna change this because basically previously when it said false in the if module, it wasn't giving me the information of the previous modules, and I actually need that. So I'm gonna change it to the merge switch, sorry, which is actually at least gave me that option. Click on execute step, there you go. And actually, oh, here it wrote only the yes. I'm gonna finish to put sell. And once it executes, we have it there. Perfect. So let's go over this part with the Supabase, the note of it. There you go. So right now, as you can see, we can receive all the items here. So as I said, let's go with name, in which I'm gonna go, for example, let's go with the information that we have here. And let's use the Retell LLM dynamic variables. There you go. Fantastic. We could also create, if we were smart, which I wasn't actually, probably, here, the email, which we could leave it as a text. I think it would be okay, a text. So let's come here. I'm gonna actually refresh. There you go, refresh list. So let's go back to cell, and here we have the email. Fantastic. So let's go add in the different values. Let's go now with the numbers. For example, you can come to the on form submission, bring it here and add it. There you go, the number. Next step, let's go. And let's move on and select the appointment. We have to set it to yes, imagine. And later what we are gonna do is go with the email that they in collected dynamic variables. I'm gonna add here the email. If it's gonna sell, let's add also the information of the date to sell, address and price, because they are gonna also give us that. So let's go on and put here date or time to sell. I'm gonna leave it in text as it's gonna be probably months, something like that. We want in text. I'm gonna add another one in this case, which is gonna be the price. There you go. This one is gonna be a number, so let's go with numeric. Again, save. And finally we have to go with the last one, which is gonna be, let me remind, the address. Fantastic, which is also gonna be a text. So there you go. Let's select it as text and let's save it. Sounds good, guys. Let's go back to my workflow. I'm gonna actually refresh a bit the list. Let's reset value, sorry about it. Now sell, and there you go, we have all the data. Fantastic. Let's go add in the fields with date or time to sell, and I'm gonna leave it here. Great. Let's go with another field that it's gonna be the price. Fantastic. Here, next one, add field, which is gonna be lately the address. There you go. Okay, so with that we will have added everything into the sell route of booking an appointment. I'm actually gonna create right now a really big table, which is gonna be the centralized one, where we are gonna have actually all the amount, for example, of appointments, calls sent, and everything. So, and that's what is gonna appear actually in the dashboard. Perfect. So I'm gonna come here, I'm gonna add a new table. There you go, and it's gonna be centralized table. I think it's written like that. Sorry if it is wrong written. we're gonna delete the part of created ad. The ID we can leave it, I don't mind that. Let's put call send, and we are gonna use a numeric. Next one, we're gonna use an appointment. Fantastic. We're gonna use another numeric. Fantastic. We're gonna set this as interested. So let's go with a numeric again. All of these are gonna be actually numbers. And I think that we actually don't need more information probably, as we already have with this the amount of calls that have been sent, the appointment, and the interested. Maybe the follow-ups in the future, but right now I'm gonna actually leave it like this. So once it is added and created, there you go. We're gonna add only one row, only one. So let's add one, and by now it's gonna be 0, 0, 0, and I'm gonna save it. So next step is gonna come here to Supabase, and we're gonna update a row. There you go, we're gonna update a row. Let's go with the centralized table, and we want, so let's set it to be greater than 0. Let's go like it's greater than or equal than, for example, let's go with call send 0, because I mean there's only gonna be one. So I'm gonna execute the previous node. There was an error, so let's check your parameters. Oh yeah, I'm gonna take this to expression, sorry. Done. So right now I'm gonna execute the step. Once executed, I'm gonna come here, and what we are gonna do is set it like this. Okay guys, sorry for the mistake. I'm actually gonna delete this one because we're gonna first use the get, and you will understand right now why. We're gonna first use the get a row. I'm gonna go with the centralized table. We're gonna add a condition. So what I'm gonna do actually is go to the centralized table and see that the ID is 1. So we're gonna go with the ID and value 1. And there you go, we have it here. Fantastic. So I'm gonna connect it right now to here to update a row. Then in the centralized in the update row node, I'm gonna add a condition, which is gonna be again this equals 1. Fantastic. And what we are gonna send is come here, and we're gonna drag this back here and hope the expression get its 2 plus 1. So I'm gonna try to execute it. Yeah, seems that it's not gonna be summed. Okay guys, so I just figured it out how to put it. What we have to do is, I'm gonna explain everything again. We basically have to get the call sent. Okay, so and here we're gonna click dot, and we're gonna go to apps, like the apps. So right now we're gonna also put these brackets in both before this dollar and after the parentheses of apps, and then I'm gonna click dot zoom. Okay, and you wonder, well, it's still 0, so that's why here what I'm gonna do is put a comma and put 1. There you go, and you can see it changes. So now it's gonna be summing everything, and we're gonna actually do the same with the rest of the data. So I'm gonna come here into appointments. I'm gonna bring here the appointments, gonna put dot apps. There you go, put the brackets, and here the other brackets, and let's go with dot sum. Fantastic. And let's go with comma here 1. I'm gonna actually repeat it finally with also the interested people. So let's go here, dot apps. Fantastic. Let's put these brackets here. Great. Now I'm gonna put dot sum. And I'm gonna go with comma 1. There you go. So now we can execute the step, and we can actually see that it has been updated. Fantastic, guys. Okay, next step is gonna be to send the information to the real estate agent that a new lead has been booked. So for that, we are gonna send another AI agent in which we wanted to extract the hour of the appointment. So let's set here the transcript of the call. There you go. The transcript of the call, 2 dots, and I'm gonna set here, in this case, the transcript. There you go. In expression, fantastic. I'm gonna add now a system message, which is gonna be really simple. From the transcript, please get the day and hour of the appointment that has been booked. Okay, so output format, I'm gonna put it actually in the American way because probably most of you are Americans, so I'm gonna use month, day, year, and here we're gonna put hour, minutes. Fantastic. With this, we just have to add a chat model, which is gonna be an OpenAI ChatGPT as always. This one is gonna be really easy, so we are gonna go good with 4o mini. And yeah, guys, with this, I'm gonna click now on run. Okay, we got it. So let's see if what he gave us. The appointment that has been booked is on. There you go. I'm gonna actually say it just output the date. Oh, so just output the date and time. We don't want actually anything more. There you go, and I'm gonna execute again the step. Perfect, that's exactly what we wanted. Okay, so here inside Supabase, I'm gonna actually place a date of appointment. There you go, fantastic. And I'm actually probably gonna choose the type of date and time, exactly, date and time. Or it recommends timestamp. Let's let it like this, fantastic. Great. So one is saved. Well, I'm gonna actually bring it here next to appointment. There you go. If it lets me, oh yeah, fantastic, it has been done. And I was actually I forgot to add the one of transcript, which is gonna be text. And I also wanna add the recording URL. There you go, guys. Fantastic. Again, it's gonna be a text. Here we have it. Fantastic. Saving it and creating it. Once created, we're gonna go back and we're gonna modify this a bit, okay? I actually want to create this row after we have gotten the date of appointment, because that way we don't have to add even more types of Supabase and this type of things. So that's why what I'm gonna do is actually delete this here, delete this here, and I'm gonna actually bring these two a bit here. I'm gonna take the AI agent, bring it here, connect it here, and connect this here. Perfect. And you will say, why are you doing this? Let's see. First, we're gonna execute the step. Gonna be really easy. We're gonna find it here, fantastic. And now what I'm gonna do is come to create row. Inside create row, I'm gonna come here and I'm gonna add another field, which is gonna be, in this case, as you can see, the date of appointment, which is gonna be output here. Fantastic. We're gonna add also the transcript. Great. Let's go, for example, to E3 and I'm gonna add here the transcript. Great. And finally, the recording URL, another important one. And we're gonna have to go down until find it. Okay, here we have it at the end. We have here the recording URL, which we are gonna place actually here. Fantastic. So now when we're gonna do the same, we're gonna click here on get a row. We're gonna execute this step. And finally, once we update a row, what we are gonna do is leave everything like this. Fantastic. So last step, to actually send a notification to the real estate agent informing that a new lead has just been inserted inside the Supabase database. So with this set, I'm gonna add a Gmail account and I'm gonna send a message. There you go. You have to connect with credentials. It's really easy, just signing in with Google. Okay, perfect. I have done it. Once there, what you have to do actually is send an email to the email of the real estate agent. Let's say the email of the real estate agent is realestateagent@gmail.com. The subject could be new lead for selling, and we're gonna put it with text actually, and you say, hey, I'm gonna actually put first this previous note, sorry about it. Hey, real estate agent, a new lead just came inside the database. He wants, I'm gonna put this in expression so that we can see it perfectly. He wants to sell, and his data is the next one. There you go, fantastic. And we are gonna go to the part of create a role here, where we're gonna be adding the information. So I've already put name, number, and email. So inside the email, I'm gonna place this. Let's put here, for example, the address there, and let's say the date of appointment. And I'm gonna set it. There you go, fantastic. For example, you know, and I mean, we could also add, for example, the price that he's asking, and date to sell or time to sell, and I'm gonna add it here. Fantastic. I'm gonna actually say here new with appointment book, because maybe in the future it's gonna change a bit. With appointment booked. Fantastic. Okay, so with this we can say, guys, that we have finished the part of appointment with selling. I'm gonna actually replicate it now with the one of appointment with booking. So I'm gonna actually, for that, replicate and duplicate this one. Let's see, duplicate this AAAN, because we're gonna basically do the same. I hope the prompt is the same. Yeah, exactly. For buy, we're gonna do exactly the same. I'm gonna connect this chat model to the OpenAI chat model. Fantastic. And from there on, what we can do is several things here. But the first important thing is gonna be to come back to our database, and we are gonna actually add another table. Okay, guys, so what I'm actually gonna do now for creating the table of sale is gonna actually be to duplicate the table. No, and I'm gonna call it buy. There you go. So it's gonna almost have the same information. We're just gonna have to change 2 columns, because you remember that for buying we are asking for the budget. Exactly. So what I'm gonna do is, here we have the number, the appointment, the date of appointment, which I'm gonna place exactly here next to the appointment. And what I'm gonna do is change the price. So we're gonna edit this column, and it's gonna be, in this case, budget. Fantastic. I'm gonna save it. I'm gonna delete one of them, in this case the address one, disturbing there. And finally, what I'm gonna also do is change this to be time or date to buy. There you go. And I'm gonna save it now. Fantastic. Sounds really good. So now I'm gonna change it a bit, because I'm gonna actually do a test, because as you can see right now we cannot use data here. As you can see, we only have the data of the on-form submission. So that's why what we're gonna have to do is another test. I'm gonna just send me a call briefly. I'm gonna do another test in which I want to buy and I book an appointment, so to continue everything. So I'm gonna go to that. Fantastic, guys, I have just done it. So I'm gonna just proceed as I was doing here in the upper root of cell. We're gonna go to Supabase to create a row. There you go, fantastic. But this time I'm gonna choose the one of buy. There you go. So we're gonna start adding a couple of fields first. Let's go first of all with the name, in which we are gonna go, for example, we could select it here, and we're gonna get the Retell dynamic variables. It's okay. Then I'm gonna go with the number, which I will add later. I'm gonna go with the appointment, which is gonna be a yes. It will get it like true also, so that's perfect. Date of appointment, here we have it. We are gonna use what we just got here from the output. Fantastic. I'm gonna add another field, which is gonna be the email, and I'm gonna get it here, email. Great. Let's add another field more, which is gonna be the budget, and we have it here. Sorry about it. There you go. Fantastic. Then another one, guys, which is gonna be the transcript. Here I have it. And I also have to add, in this case, the data or time to buy. I forgot it. There you go. And finally, what are we gonna do is add the recording URL, which is gonna be in the down part. I'm gonna get the transcript without it, and here we have it, the recording URL. Perfect. So right now we are actually good to go. I'm gonna actually go to get a row again from Supabase. There you go, and get a row. There you go. So we're gonna get the centralized table. I'm gonna execute these nodes. So with this done, what we can do is come here and I'm gonna get in which the ID is equal to 1. Again, I'm gonna execute this one. There you go, we got it. And it's gonna be as easy as coming here, duplicating this one, duplicate, bringing it here, there you go. And I'm gonna actually duplicate the email also. Fantastic, to send a message in case to buy. Well, we're gonna do some modifications, of course, in which we're gonna say new lead for buying with appointment booked. I'm gonna execute even without it again this input that we had here, this node, so that we can create it and change it. Basically what you have to go is go to create a row, and we're gonna be changing all these that we have in red with these ones, and I'm gonna be dragging them here. I'm gonna of course get out the part of address, which we are not gonna use. Date to sell, I'm gonna change it to date to buy, and all these other things I'm gonna change it right now. There you go, guys, I have just done it. So we have finished all the part that is this one of appointment. So we're gonna go now to the part of 1. And what's that? Is the part where we remember the output. The second one, that is if it was interested but didn't book an appointment. So I think that we can operate right now with that data, and we're not gonna need these AI agents, remember guys, because we're just gonna basically create row saying that he was interested but didn't book an appointment. First of all, we're gonna have to do a switch, of course, here, in which we want to differentiate between if he did buy or sell. So I actually, as you can see here, sell or buy, I'm gonna actually duplicate this one. If you let me, there you go. I'm gonna duplicate this AI agent so that it also decides if the leads wanted to buy or sell. Great. So I'm gonna have to do actually another test here so that we can include all the information here. So let me a moment that I do another test. Perfect, guys. So I actually just done the test, and as you can see, I got the buy and I brought it through here. Basically, I said that I actually didn't want to book an appointment. So right now we're gonna do a switch module in which we are gonna put 2 routine rules. One is gonna be the output is equal to sell, and the other one is gonna be equal to buy. In this case, I've done the test with buy, so we're gonna go with the one down. I'm gonna, as you can see, play it here. Fantastic. So right now we have this part which we're gonna go directly with Supabase, and we are gonna create a row. We're gonna go to the table of buy, and we're gonna start adding fields without any hesitate. We're gonna come here, we're gonna add the name. I'm gonna come to our data. Whoa, we don't want that, but this data is important. So I'm gonna add the Retell and dynamic variables, the number, I will add it later, the appointment, which is gonna be false. There you go. So we don't have to add the date of appointment, the email. We didn't actually got the emails. The email is needed only for the appointment, so we're not gonna be adding it in this case. Okay, guys, as I was saying before, I actually changed it to be by in the upper part. It doesn't actually change for you anything because I want to get these two by together. So doesn't matter if you were doing the previous way, it's okay. What I'm gonna do actually, as I said previously, is continue with this. So I'm gonna add here the budget, as I said, here. I'm actually gonna add the date and time to buy. There you go. And I'm also gonna add, if you see it correctly guys, the transcript with the recording URL. There you go. Fantastic. So how we're gonna find the recording URL? We're gonna close this, and there you go, recording URL. Great. I actually put it in the upper part. It doesn't change a lot. If you are doing in the down part, it's good for you, doesn't matter. So we're gonna go here with another Supabase node of get a row, and we're gonna basically do the same as we did here. Actually guys, I'm gonna duplicate this. There you go. I'm gonna join it here. Fantastic. I'm gonna duplicate this one again. There you go. Fantastic. And I'm finally gonna also duplicate the one for sending an email, because we're gonna send the different emails informing that he hasn't booked an appointment. Duplicate. There you go. Fantastic. So I'm gonna go here, and we're gonna put here without appointment booked. Let's execute the previous workflows. Oh, I see there was an error. Give me a moment. I just fixed the error. Perfect. Okay, so we're gonna actually execute it. There you go. And here we have it to change the parts that we need here. I'm gonna actually change the name. We can do it with the create a row things that we have here. The name. We can change the number here. There you go, number. We are gonna delete the date of appointment because we don't have it anymore. There you go. We're gonna put the date to buy, which is gonna be date or time to buy. Fantastic. And the email, we're gonna have to take it out as we are not gonna ask it anymore. Great. So we have finished this part. Let's go now with the sell part. Okay guys, so actually to make it smoother, what I'm gonna do is come here and duplicate the one that we have in the upper part, because you probably, once you were trying to do it with a create a row one, you probably saw that in the left you don't have here the items, which allowed us to actually include the information. So for example here there are no fields and everything. So once it charges, as you can see, we have everything here of the variables, and it's exactly the values that we have. What are we gonna have to take down? In this case the email, as we are not gonna have it. We weren't able to collect an email because he didn't book an appointment. The date and time of appointment, we are gonna have to take it out. There you go. Fantastic. And we are gonna change the appointment to no or to false, whatever you guys prefer. Great. So next time gonna be exactly the same. We are gonna come here, we are gonna duplicate it, and we're gonna bring it here. Get a row, and it's gonna be exactly the same. Perfect. And thing that we actually had to change here in update that I didn't tell you previously, but that we actually have to do now guys, is that appointments is gonna be left exactly the same. We are not gonna change it. So what we have to do is set this back to it's equal. How do I do that? Basically delete everything that we added previously. There you go. So that's how we're gonna do it. We're gonna again duplicate this one, and there you go. Why did we get out the sum and we didn't put +1 for the appointments? Because as we're in the part of sell and buy without appointments, that means that we're not gonna be able to give it one more because it's not an appointment basically, but there is an interest. So I'm gonna actually again duplicate this one, bring it here. Fantastic. So I'm actually gonna change this to selling. Great, there you go. And I'm gonna execute the previous node so that we can get information and update this message. Fantastic, executed. So I'm gonna click here so that we can see all the view, and we are gonna go to the part of create a row. And here we're gonna be adding all the information that we previously wanted to create. So in this case, I mean, it's as easy to change this from 2 to 3, but I'm gonna do it so that you can guys do it easier. Just drag it back here and it's as easy as that. So I'm gonna continue with, in this case, the number. There you go, take it out and add the number that we have here. Fantastic. The date, I'm gonna change it to date to sell. In this case, I'm gonna bring it here. And where is the date to sell? Here. Date to sell, and I'm gonna bring it actually here. Fantastic, there you go. Great. So with this set, we can actually add, for example, also the address. Just an example, guys. It's not gonna be your final product, so you can adapt it however you want. And there you go. Fantastic. Okay, this part has also finished. The part of interested people without appointment has been finished. So right now we have to handle the other parts. Let's go back to the whiteboard to see a bit what we just done. We've done, in this case, the part of appointment. We have to do the reminder, which we will do later. And we have done the part of no appointment. Great. So we have to do the parts that I didn't add of mistake and not interest. And we have to do the part of not pickup. The mistaken people, we are gonna probably delete them, because if they say that they are not that person, is that they are not worth to do that. But to the not interested people, we're actually gonna send them an follow up, as well as to the no appointments ones. And the no pickups are gonna be probably the ones of voicemail, guys. So just to explain you here inside 10.8.10, what do we have left from the AI agent? So as you can see, I'm gonna open the system message. We had 4 types of outputs. Here we have it. The 3, which was if there was a mistake or a misunderstanding and the call didn't go ahead. This is probably, we cannot do anything with this lead, because if there's a misunderstanding, that means that the number or something was mistaken and we can actually do anything. So we are gonna have to leave that like in standby. We can not do anything. But the output 4, if the lead didn't show interest at all, we are gonna add them inside a table, which is gonna be the one of not interest. It doesn't matter if they wanted to buy or sell. Well, yeah, it did matter, but we're actually just gonna insert it inside the table. So we're not gonna differentiate between buy or sell, because they didn't show interest. So that's what we're gonna do. So remember that in this case, inside the switch, the output 2, I think so, was if it was 3. So this means that the call didn't go well, so there was a mistake or misunderstanding. And the number 4, that is the one that we are gonna actually go ahead with. We're not gonna need any AI agent or anything. We are just gonna go directly with a Supabase node. There you go, of create a row inside Supabase. We're gonna come back and we're gonna create a new table. Great. So this one is gonna be not interested. The guys that weren't interested once we have called them. So we're gonna add some columns. We're gonna add the name here, which is gonna be the text. We're not gonna actually duplicate the previous tables as we did with buy and sell, because this one is gonna be a bit different. Here we're gonna include the number. Fantastic. Where is it? Numeric could be good. Let's go another one, which is gonna be buy or sell, and it's gonna be in this case a text. I can actually add the transcript, so that's what I'm gonna do. Transcript, I'm gonna include text and the recording URL. That thing we can actually add it. Recording URL. Great, fantastic, marvelous. So there you go with text. Great, I'm gonna save it. Okay, great, here we have it, sounds good. Once the table has been created, let's come back to NA10. And here what I'm gonna do is go to this route that we just put. I'm gonna execute previous nodes. So after executing previous nodes, what I'm gonna do is a small test in which I'm gonna say that I'm not interested. Okay guys, see you later. Okay, perfect, I just did the test and I'm gonna do a similar thing that I just did previously. So I'm gonna come actually to create a row here and I'm gonna duplicate this one and I'm gonna bring it here. So what I'm gonna accomplish is that coming here, what we are gonna be able to do actually is change to sell to not interested, and we're gonna be deleting the fields that we don't have date of time to sell, price, address, but the transcript and the recording URL, we're gonna maintain them. And by the way, guys, you can also add the number. I will be adding it later so that you guys don't see my actual and real number. We actually need one more, which is gonna be add, buy, or sell. So we're gonna add it here, and it's gonna be within the form submission. Inside the form submission, I'm gonna get the what are you looking for, and I'm gonna bring it here. And there you go, guys. Fantastic. Now what we are gonna do is a similar thing, where I'm gonna duplicate this part. Great. Bring it here. Great. And duplicate this one. Great. And bring it back here. Great. What are we gonna do with this? What we are gonna do actually is pass it to the centralized data, and we're gonna change a bit this part, because appointments, it's not gonna be changed, so we can actually delete this part, and interested, it's also not gonna be changed, so we can actually also delete it. We're just gonna be with call sent, as the only thing that we got from this call is that a new call was sent. And right now we're gonna leave it like this. Maybe for the follow-up system we might change this, but right now we're gonna leave it. So remember that here we have to handle the not connected one, the error one, and the voicemail one. So if there was an error or we weren't able to connect, we are gonna probably delete those leads, because if there's an error, we weren't able to do it. But the not connected one, it's more possible that maybe they didn't got it, or he doesn't have a voicemail, this guy. So the not connected and the voicemail are gonna be together actually. Okay, guys, so that's why I'm gonna come back to Supabase, and I'm gonna create a last new table, which is gonna be, in this case, the voicemail or not connection. If there was an error, it means that probably the person didn't add correctly the number, and we can't do anything with that. It's impossible, because the only thing that we could contact him was the number, and we lost it. So with this done, what we are gonna do is actually add here the name, and I'm gonna put text. We're gonna put the number. I'm gonna put numeric, sorry about it. And I don't think that we really have to add the transcript or the recording URL, because we're not gonna need it. We just have to add the name and the number so that we can add it later. Oh, but we are actually gonna add if they wanted to buy or sell, and it's gonna be text. Great, so I'm gonna save it. Fantastic, it has been created. So what I'm gonna do now is come back to here. Let's add actually here a Supabase module. Supabase, great, create a row. Right, so here inside the create a row, we are gonna probably not have a lot of info. Maybe you actually have, but in my case I don't have it. So with the previous test that we did of not interested, so I'm gonna come back to the one of voicemail or not connection, and what with the information that we already have is gonna be enough, because we actually only need the name, which we can actually get from the form submission here. There you go. So I'm gonna get the what is your name. We can actually get also for the number, which you're gonna add here. Can you give me your number? But the buy or sell is gonna be actually really valuable. Fantastic. So I'm gonna actually add it here. I'm gonna execute the step. Great, it has been executed. So what we have to do go now is back here, and we are gonna do similar thing. Should we count actually these calls as call sends, or should we divide them and create a pickup? I'm gonna actually consider them as call sends, because we are also gonna do a follow-up system. So it's call send is almost like lead send, you know? So I'm actually gonna do the same. I'm gonna duplicate here, and I'm gonna count it as if we send actually another call. Great. So I'm gonna connect the one of not connected. I'm gonna connect it there, guys. Bring it a bit lower. There you go. Okay, fantastic. And these ones will be actually sent another call, maybe let's say in a day or some hours. We're gonna set that scenario shortly right now. Okay, so this was the main scenario. By now we have created the important one, the one that is gonna be with the first call, and that is gonna handle all the possibilities Okay guys, new day, and what I've basically done is send me a call, a new call, in which the only thing I've done is not get the call. So why? Because I wanted to change the information that we actually had here. The problem is that we were here in this place using the information from the form submission, but later when we send follow-ups, we are not gonna be able to send those types of information, as once we do follow-ups, we're not gonna have the information of the form. So I've changed, and I've got the information of the call with the Retell and dynamic variables. I have added here, and obviously you also have here the number to include it here once you add it. Fantastic. Another thing that we're gonna do is start with follow-ups in the part of interested but not with appointment. I'm gonna send an SMS. In this case, I'm gonna use Twilio. You guys can use Telnix, you can use Bonash, for example. So I'm gonna click here. We are gonna send an SMS. You connect your Twilio account. You just need to create a credential with your account SID and your authentication token, in which you have to put here your phone number. But inside to, what I'm gonna do actually is come to create a row, and here we are gonna add the number. Okay, so we are gonna get that number from the email previously. You see that here we have this variable of number that we just added before, and I'm gonna actually add it here as an expression. There you go, expression. Fantastic. So to WhatsApp, we are not gonna send it in this case to WhatsApp. We could actually do it, as you can see, but let's leave it as a normal SMS to not get into many problems and headaches. The message is gonna be, hey, after the conversation we just have, I leave you here the Calendly link, calendar probably. I'm gonna set it in expression, guys, so that you can also see it. The calendar link of Signed Real Estate, so that you can book an appointment. Fantastic. And I'm gonna set here my Calendly link, guys. Remember, you can use this one to book an appointment with me in the description. And I'm gonna set mine, for example. There you go. And let's say otherwise, the real estate agent will get in contact with you. There you go. Fantastic. Marvelous. So I'm gonna leave this blank. I will add right now later my phone number, but what we have to do, I'm gonna actually delete this route, because what we're gonna do here is add a wait module. We're gonna wait a bit, a couple of minutes or 3 minutes or something like that. Let's go with 3 minutes, for example, to send this SMS, and let's leave it there. Fantastic. And I think that we are actually gonna do the same. Well, we cannot do it the same because the number that we get used here is the number that we added here inside create a row. So we're not gonna be able to add that number. So we're actually gonna have to duplicate this. Duplicate. Let's bring it here. And I'm also gonna duplicate this one. There you go. And I'm gonna bring it here. Fantastic. So I'm gonna change, as you can see, this is in red. We're gonna get the one that is here, the create a row 3 number that we used in the email, to bring it here and use it here. There you go. Fantastic. Now it's in gray, so it means that in the future it will work. I will add later the phones. I'm gonna save. Okay guys, so once we have done the follow-ups of interested but not appointment, we're gonna go with the follow-ups of the people that actually didn't pick the phone. So it did not connect it, or basically we weren't able to, it went to the voicemail, let's be honest. So with that, we are gonna do a small workflow, which is gonna be at the end connected to this node of get the call, so that we can continue with all the flow of the information and analyzing them as normal, but with the new call of the follow-up. Okay, perfect guys. So then we're gonna right now configure the follow-up of the people that have been in voicemail. What I'm gonna do is come back to our voicemail or not connection table, and I'm gonna add another column, which is gonna be date to follow up. You will understand now why I'm creating this. I'm gonna in this case use the type of timestamp, for example, yeah, and I'm gonna save it here. Why are we gonna do that? Because right now what I'm gonna do actually is come here and we are gonna use the node of add to date from date actually. So we have to go to data transformation, date and time, we're gonna use it, and we're gonna click on add to date. We're gonna go to the create a row and we're gonna get this created at, and we're gonna add it to date at 2. Fantastic. What are we gonna do now? We're gonna add some hours. So if someone hasn't gotten the phone that we send them, we can send them another call, maybe in 1 hour or 2. So let's set this to, for example, 1 hour. So it is in the time zone of the Greenwich Meridian of +00. I'm gonna execute this step, and it's gonna go to my time zone, which is 0 Madrid +02. That's why it seems here to be at 1 p.m. Well, okay, so with that known, what we're gonna do is update our row. So we're gonna go back to Supabase. There you go. We're gonna update our row here. Fantastic. We're gonna update the row of select the conditions in which we are gonna put the field. Of course, I have to select the table name, my fault. And I'm gonna select here the created at. Fantastic. We're gonna go to create row and we're gonna put the, there you go, and equals this. Fantastic. So we are gonna add a field, and that's gonna be the date to follow up, and we're gonna add this new date. Great. So now we can execute this, and there we have it. Why? Because right now the second super scenario, we're gonna actually build it inside this one. It's gonna be actually on a schedule trigger. So we're gonna click here on add another trigger, and I'm gonna add on a schedule. So it's gonna be several times. We're gonna execute this trigger 3 times, so that we have 3 possibilities of calling these people that have just added their information inside the form and haven't picked up the call. So the trigger that tower, we cannot call at midnight, please guys. Let's call, for example, at 9 a.m. We are gonna put 0 days between triggers. The next one, again, 0 days between triggers, and let's call, for example, at 4 p.m. or 5 p.m., whatever you guys prefer. And lately, what we will do is put again 0. And if someone hasn't been able to get the ones off at 9 a.m. and 4 p.m., we will then call at 8 p.m. Fantastic. There you go. Okay, so we're gonna leave it exactly here, and we want to actually create a call. For that, we're gonna go directly into Supabase, and what we're going to do is get a row. We want to get the latest row that it's in voicemail or a connection. We want it to be actually, well, no, let's do it like this, so that we're gonna execute this node. Okay guys, so I just saw that we made a mistake actually. We have to set the days between triggers at 1, because if not, it's not gonna work. Just click on execute workflow, click here and select the from schedule trigger, and we're gonna get here the row. At least one condition must be defined. Okay guys, so here inside, instead of going with get, I actually gonna change to get many, so that we can execute the step, and we're gonna find everything that we need here, all the ones we are having to play around. So as you can see, there's another route, because here we're gonna have a continue using error output, or continue, I mean, if there's an error, it's gonna be if there's no people here inside this table, so there's no people to send another call. So I'm gonna leave it by now by this. If we don't get people there, it means that we don't have to send calls, so we don't have to actually do anything, you know. So next thing, what we are gonna do is go to an if module. So what we are gonna add here is the date to follow up, and we wanted to compare it to the time of the schedule trigger. Fantastic. So we're gonna put it here, and we want it to be if this is before than this. There you go. If this is before than this, so with the date to follow up, where we added an hour, is before than the schedule trigger, we are ready to send that call. So we're gonna execute this step. Okay guys, so here we have to take into consideration that N10 has one thing where which we can only send one piece of data at one time. For example, I'm gonna put you an example. Let's say that we want to send these 4 items that we have inside voicemail a follow-up. We can only send one because an A10 does not allow us to, for example, as it's done in make, send at the same time many calls. At least from what I know that has given me errors. So for that we're gonna go with a get a row from Supabase, and we are gonna click here on get row. We're gonna go to voicemail of or not connection. We're gonna add the, in this case, ID. Let's go with the ID. We're gonna set it here as the condition, and we're gonna tell it to only execute once, so that we can only get one of them. Fantastic. So with that said, we are gonna actually delete that row. We're gonna go again to Supabase. We're gonna delete that row. Why? Because we're gonna actually send them a follow-up. Why do we actually want to continue with them? So I'm gonna execute previous notes. We have the problem that I'm gonna connect it by now to the false, but then we will connect it back then to the true ones, so there's no problem on it. So then we're gonna go is to voicemail or not connection, and we're gonna add the condition in which the ID is equal, sorry about this, equal, there you go, to this ID. Okay, we're not gonna execute it because then we're gonna lose that data. So what we're gonna do is add right now the HTTP request to send a call. I'm gonna actually click here on duplicate. Where is it? Here, there you go, and I'm gonna bring it here and here. Fantastic, there you go. So with this done, what we are gonna actually do is go into the HTTP request. Let's go inside, and here what we should do is, well, let's execute previous notes, and what we are gonna do is make it a bit bigger, and here we're gonna be changing the themes. So what are we gonna do? We're gonna change this one in red of number, and we're gonna put here the number. Fantastic. We're gonna change the type, and we're gonna put the buy or sell one. Let's delete this part, and finally let's go do the same with the name. Let's get the name one. Fantastic, there you go. So again, put here your phone number and your API key here to send it later. And what we are gonna do actually right now is go to the centralized table, as we actually want to include the number of follow-ups that have been sent as interesting data. So follow-ups, and I'm gonna use again numeric here, and I'm gonna save it. There you go. So we have it there. Fantastic. And what we're gonna do now is do a similar thing here. We're gonna click here on get a row. We're gonna actually duplicate it because this one we don't actually need to be changed, because we're just gonna get the row of the centralized table. I'm gonna connect it right here, and finally I'm gonna click here on run. It gives an error because I have to add the API key and the phone number, so let me do that right now. Okay guys, so as you can see, I've run it, and here I have the get a row one of the centralized table, actually, sorry. So let's go to Supabase here. There you go. I'm gonna actually save the scenario, let me a moment, and I'm gonna update a row here. There you go. I'm gonna click on update a row, and what we are gonna do is select the centralized table, and we want to add a field. We can add the condition of ID being equal to this one, but as you know, there is only one row. And inside here, I'm gonna go to the follow-ups, and I want to add this one. Why? You understand that I'm gonna do exactly the same thing that I did before. Put this bracket, and here instead of putting another, we're gonna go dot apps. Let's put it like this. One, put another bracket, and right now we're gonna put dot sum. There you go. As the similar thing that we were doing previously. Don't worry because it says right now apps can be used on null value, because we're gonna put it right now actually in 0, so that it will have it like this, and from there on there's no problem on that, okay? And this one is gonna be left like this. So right now we're gonna click here, and we're gonna drag this one back to the HTTP request, so that now we are gonna update here on the follow-ups, and we are also gonna send all the information back to the HTTP request of get call, so that it can be done. So right now, as I did previously, I'm gonna take out the false one, and I'm gonna connect it to true, so that it triggers one is true. There you go. And the false, we're gonna actually leave it here in standby, because we don't want the ones that are false, which means that we're not before this schedule trigger. We don't want to send them. Actually, they are too early to send. It hasn't passed an hour since we called to that voicemail. Okay, so this actually is the follow-up system to send them another call after we just send them a call, they didn't get it. Passes an hour, we send a voicemail in one of these three possible triggers: 9 a.m., 4 p.m., 8 p.m. And yeah, guys. Okay, guys, so let's actually configure this last follow-up that we have here. We are gonna send an SMS to this guy that showed not interest in the process of the call. So I'm gonna go actually to Twilio. I'm gonna send an SMS. And here we're not gonna execute it, but it doesn't matter a lot, guys, because it would be necessary to do a big test in which we didn't show interest and everything. In case you don't want to do it, which I would completely understand, come back to any of the emails and copy the variable of the number. So then come back to Twilio and we're gonna put the 2. And here, instead of 3, change it to 5. Why? Because I actually have it here named as 5. If you have here 4, 3, just change it to the number that you have there. So the message is gonna be, hey there, you filled up previously our form of real estate, signed real estate. Oh, I forgot the first name. I'm gonna pass it to expression so that you can guys see it. And let's say, for example, in case you want to discuss any details of what you are interested, please book a call here with our real estate agent. Fantastic. And I'm gonna get again, guys, my Calendly link. So I'm gonna paste it here. Right. If not, the real estate agent won't be able to get in touch with you. Fantastic. Beautiful. So the last thing that I'm gonna do actually is set a wait, as we did also there. So I'm gonna put here a wait module. Let's wait like around 3 minutes also to send it. There you go. And then we will send it here. Great. Okay, guys, so I think that with this we have finished all the systems, all that we had to do in terms of sending follow-ups. What we could do also is send a reminder of the appointment that this guy's booked. Okay, guys, so last thing that we're gonna do actually is create that reminder system. It's gonna be really easy. We're gonna get a schedule trigger. There you go. And let's put it to be every day, for example, at 8 a.m. So we said that the real estate agent works from 9 a.m. to 8 p.m. So that's why we're gonna put it to trigger at 8 a.m. Next, what we are gonna do is add to date. So we're not gonna get it here, so we probably have to go to an schedule date, actually, date and time here. We're gonna add to date. So I'm gonna connect this. Fantastic. I'm gonna execute previous notes. Great. And what we want to do is get the timestamp where we get this, and we're gonna actually add, let's say, some hours. So if the maximum limit someone can book an appointment is at 8 p.m., we're gonna add 13 hours so that it ends at 9 p.m. and because the appointments are 1 hour long. Perfect. So we're gonna leave it like this. And nextly, what we are gonna do is go to Supabase. We're gonna get all the rows that booked an appointment in both sell and buy. So let's go to it. Table. Great. Buy. And we're gonna do actually the same. Let's click first on execute step. There you go. We get them all. And we're gonna do the same. Let's separate it here. Supabase. And we're gonna do it with sell. So there you go. Gonna delete it here, bring it here, connect it here. Great. And these ones are gonna be of this table of sell. So we're gonna be doing at the same time, which is actually really good. Remember that inside this get many rows, we have actually all the info of the appointment also, so that's gonna be perfect. So let's go with an if route in which I'm gonna execute a node. Great. Here we have the date of appointment, so we want the date of appointment to be before date and time before the add date, the new date, the one which we added 13 hours. Perfect. So that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna place it here. Right now it's gonna give an error. It's gonna give false because we don't have any date. So I'm actually gonna go with if also, and I'm gonna copy the exact same thing that we did previously. So I'm gonna execute it. What I'm gonna do is get the date of appointment, bring it here, and we are gonna put it to be before here the new date. Great. We're gonna execute it again. It's gonna go to false branch. Okay, so the ones that go false means that these guys aren't actually gonna receive anything because they don't have the appointment today. But the ones that are true and have the appointment today, we are actually gonna send them a reminder. By the way, another thing that we're gonna do is come to the ones of buy and sell, and I'm gonna add another column here that is gonna be reminder sent. So we are gonna choose in this case a boolean here. There you go, and I'm gonna save it. Why? Because we want to check also if the reminder sent is also not sent, you know? So it doesn't make sense if we are gonna send a reminder once it has already sent. So we're gonna do the same in the cell. There you go, fantastic. I'm gonna save this one and let's go back to anything. Okay, so I'm actually gonna trigger it again here. Fantastic. Why? Beautiful. Because we're gonna actually put and because the reminder sent is a boolean, and let's go to is false, so that we haven't sent that reminder. And I'm gonna actually do the same here. I'm gonna click here to execute it. Great. And we are gonna put a condition of and where the reminder sent is false. Great. Fantastic. So we want the true ones. What we are gonna do is send an SMS. We could send an email, guys, so you can do both things, as we have got also their email, but call.com is gonna be aware of that and it's gonna send a reminder. Remember that call.com has that automation. That's why I'm only gonna send actually a Twilio message, an SMS, informing that today we have an appointment. So let's go execute these previous notes. We have here the information, so the number, I'm gonna place the one that we got here from get many rows. The message is hey, and I'm gonna put here the name. Remember to change to expression. The name here. Great. Hey, we have today an appointment. Here is the full date. We're gonna put here the date of appointment. Great. There you go. So let's add, please remember to be there, or something like that. Whatever type of follow-up you want to add. Again, will be my number, which I will add it later. And I'm gonna break it. Why? Because we want to previously update within Supabase the row to inform that the reminder has been sent. So let's go to buy. In this case, we were in the part of buy, in the branch of buy, and we want the condition to be ID, get many rows, and we're gonna put this ID equals. Fantastic. I'm gonna add another field, which is gonna be the reminder sent, and it's gonna be we're gonna leave it in true or yes. True, yes, is gonna understand it. So I'm gonna bring it here. Fantastic and beautiful. This is the buy one, and I'm gonna actually duplicate it, bring it down, as what we are gonna do here is execute first previous notes. We're gonna change this one of get many rows with the one of the cell, so the field value of the ID is this one. I'm gonna bring it here now. Perfect. And we're gonna do the same with the reminder sent. I'm gonna change from the table name from buy to sell because we're in the sell part, and with this it's also okay. So we're gonna go to duplicate this one, also the studio, to send, and with that we will be sending an SMS. So this is the reminder system, guys, and with that we officially have finished everything that we had to do inside N8N. Sounds really good, right? Now it's the cool part, the one that probably you have clicked in this video, but we have to go before with the part that we actually had to do, which is this part, the N8N part of creating all the call center behind everything that is gonna be making the money, working, everything. And now we can go to the fancy part. Okay guys, so I'm here in Lovable, and remember that the data that we are gonna see inside the table, inside the dashboard, is gonna be this information of call sends, appointments, interested, and follow-ups. So for that, we're gonna start really simple. First of all, I'm gonna connect my tourist agency project. I'm connected that one, and I'm gonna say it, create a dashboard. By the way, before, I'm gonna note that you can connect here your Supabase account, your organization. I have connected one, and that's why I have it here. Okay, and I'm gonna say create a dashboard or as an AI call center in which you are gonna show the numbers of call sent, appointments, follow-ups, and interested people. Let's say you are gonna pull those numbers from the centralized table of my organization inside Supabase. Well, I didn't put the E, but word. So right now it's gonna basically start creating it, coding it. We'll probably here in Lovable, it's gonna build everything, so it's gonna take a while, and I'm gonna, to make it faster, I'm gonna just cut it. Well guys, so it actually has finished, and we find this. I imagine that it has put it as a call center in which we click here on the dashboard and we see the dashboard metrics. But I'm gonna say a couple of things. First of all, let's say I don't like how you have designed the dashboard. I want it to be the primary page, so displaying directly all the info. Also, there is a problem as the date it isn't featuring the data of my centralized table from Supabase. I'm gonna put in between parentheses, if you need anything to access it, let me know. Great guys, remember that actually Lovable has a limit of 5 messages per day. Okay guys, so let's it has finished. I'm gonna click on return to home. There you go, here we have everything, the data. So guys, there was an API shutdown from Supabase for like an hour, so I had to stop. But I'm gonna ask him in this case, as you can see, we are not triggering the data, so I'm gonna tell him, hey there, can you access the data inside the centralized table? If you can't, let me know. What do you want me to give you? Because there is actually one row with the ID of 1. There you go. And I think that I'm gonna give him a image of it. So I'm gonna actually take an image, guys. Let me a moment. There you go. I'm gonna actually copy it. There you go. And I'm gonna bring it back here. I'm gonna paste it. as you can see in the image. Let's pass the chat. Let's see how it goes. Okay, it just finished. It says that it has updated the dashboard, so I think that it continues to say that no data found in centralized table. Let me search for a bit so that I can show you how to do it and what's happening. Okay guys, so today is a new day. What I've done is basically click here on the agent mode, and I told him that it is still not showing the data from my Supabase, and when it executed, it finally saw here that it did the Supabase migration. So I clicked again here on applying its agents, and here we have it. I have reviewed the SQL and it looks good. Please run it. I have run it, and now we see here the data that when I change here anything, like for example the number of appointments to 6, I only have to come here, click on refresh data, and here we have it refreshed. Fantastic. So at least right now we have already a version of it that, as you can see, is actually really cool. We could leave it like this actually, but let's change it a bit. Let's ask him, for example, to do several sections. So I'm gonna ask him to put here a small menu where we can choose the interested people, for example the ones who put an appointment, so that we can see all the people. Okay guys, so for our Lovable system to add and access the data from Supabase, what you have to do is disable the RLS. For that, it's as simple of coming, for example, to the not interested one. I'm gonna click here on add RLS policies, and we're gonna click here on disable it. I'm gonna confirm it, and once there, we're gonna come back to table editor, and I'm gonna do exactly the same with all of them. I'm gonna click here on disable, confirm. I'm gonna come back to the table editor and finally do the same with, in this case, voicemail or not connection. Confirm here. There you go. Fantastic. Real estate agents, I mind that they are not interested in seeing the people who are in voicemail or not connection, because probably that's not gonna give us any valuable information. So for that, I'm gonna say, can you please create a small menu bar in the left so that we can add more pages for the dashboard. It has to show, let's say, buy, sell, the main page or dashboard, and all the calls. Great. So I'm just gonna leave it here. I'm gonna leave it thinking, and I'm gonna come back once it has finished. Okay guys, there you go. Fantastic, it has just finished. So what we want to do probably is add the buy leads. Okay, so right now if we go to the buy leads, let's go here, we have one with actually the null, all this information null, and as you can see we actually have exactly the same information that we had here. So I'm gonna actually click here on, for example, add some information like my name, a random number, the appointment, let's put true, date of appointment, let's leave that like null. Let's add some data, yes, and let's see if we can refresh data, go to buy, and we, as you can see here, find all that information, which is actually fantastic. And we actually can go to sell, and we're gonna find exactly the same thing, as you can see guys, with all the info here, the average price, the with appointments, the pending reminders, and inside all calls we see exactly all the calls that we had here, with the interest, the intent, if there has been sent a follow-up, if not, when it's gonna be sold, the type. Buy or sell, these are people that are interested, these ones are people that are voicemail. So here we have all actually the info. So as you can see guys, this is a simple dashboard that we can build. We can click here on publish, publish anyway, So it's gonna still feature in the data as I already showed you. We just have to click on refresh data and it will be done. So let's see if we can copy it, bring it here and find it. So it says here edit with Lovable, but here we have everything, guys, with all the information. We can click here on refresh data and everything, so we can see here the buy ones, the all calls, and here we just can edit it as much as we like and personalized to our own personality and what we like, basically. But yeah, this is how we build an AI voice call center, an AI voice dashboard with all the information, so that it can be really easy for your clients, for these real estate agents or marketing agencies, and they don't have to get into fancy data here inside Supabase with the tables and all those things, and they can just go into the dashboard, see the easy information, and get into the work of getting much more leads thanks to AI voice. So guys, we could actually set here, for example, an SMS or some more voice. I know that in the introduction I said that maybe we could use some more AI voice agents, but as we have seen and I have told you in the guide, we have built a really solid system which we probably don't need so much another voice agent, as the follow-ups with SMS are gonna definitely work correctly. So yeah guys, this is basically all the guide that I have brought you of how to build the AI voice dashboard in a couple of hours. It has been a long one. Well guys, this has been all for today. I hope you've enjoyed this 2-hour long video. I've made some mistakes, but as I wanted to be as most transparent as I could be. So you can book a call with me in the description, and from there on start selling these AI voice call center systems or whatever system you want to create with Lovable and AI. So yeah, again, thanks for watching the video and see you in the next one.